Yeah, champion, Brooklyn, spin the yard with me. I got bars too, you heard? I'm a mathematician with the bars, my intros is going hard, my interviews getting bigger, the guests know I'm a star. Always knew that I was realer, was held up by the frauds who didn't believe my vision, I had to prove them wrong. Then I rose up out the mud like concrete in the rose. The difference is I wasn't picked up and taken home. 4 walls in the cot, had to prove if you real or not. Gotta protect yourself with a lock in the sock, coming out the box. That shit apparent, the tarot card said I was destined for blessings in abundance, but my heart I had to protect it, didn't listen. And grandma in my ears steady bitching. I was falling blinded by the lights flashing in my vision. False presentation, money, cars, girls, pagan world. Sick of being broken, hungry nights made me wanna earl. Curled up in a pissy bed, stick up boys right in the crib, looking for Calvin and Savior bread in the mattresses. Dead upon arrival, I swear with my left hand on the Bible. Mama grabbed that Mossberg and started clapping for our survival. This is the facts, I ain't even capping. Trapping got its course and I ain't paying for shit to happen. Niggas spin the yard, huh? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Champ, aka Champion Style TV, aka Mr. Spin the Yard. Welcome to another episode. First and foremost, I want to thank all the subscribers, all of the sharing, all of the likes, all of the comments. Obviously, this is something that y'all want to see on a consistent basis, and I am super grateful. Myself, Mixed by Chameleon, Jiggy Job, we really thank you for all the love and support. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Champion Style TV to get all the latest content. If you want to become members of my YouTube channel, Champion Style TV, you can become a member or super member to get content that I will not be posting publicly on the YouTube channel. All right, shout out to Duce. Appreciate y'all. And let's just like get into this, man. I have someone here who we've all watched as we've grown up. I'm 42 years old, and at the time when he first started his career in the acting world, he took me for a surprise with the roles that he played, and I connected to them immediately. It doesn't matter what role he played, whether it was a movie or a series, it didn't matter. He was always captivating. I want y'all to please show some love, hit that stall off on that like button for my guy, J.D. Williams.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me,
brother. Of course, man. Thank you for pulling up to spin the yard with me. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, man. Of course.
First and foremost, let's take this shot to a new year.
All right. Happy New Year to you too, brother.
Exactly, man. Sure. That always get it started right. All right, so let's, like I tell all of my guests, I like to go through a chronological order of things. Okay. So let's start with where you grew up at and how was it coming up where you're from?
All right, Brick City, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Newark, for those who don't know. Particularly North Newark, but I pretty much grew up all over the city. Shout out to Grafton Avenue, GAP. What's up? How y'all doing? But yeah, like I said, it don't matter. All of Newark really is, hometown. All of Essex County really is hometown. But yeah, I'm a Brick City kid through and through.
And how was it like growing up in that environment? I know Brick City is not, I know it's middle class / lower class, but how was it for you? Because you were able to, maneuver through the bullshit that comes with the environment.
Well, I had a lot of family living in different places, throughout the cities and, certain places. So I got to live, in the projects. I was born into the projects, but I got to live in the suburbs, got to move to upper middle class area. So I lived, wherever my family was going. Like if I wanted to be at anybody's house, I could go over there. I was that type of kid. Gotcha. My mom and my dad was like the prince and the princess of the family, pretty much. So when they had me, like everybody was like, "Yo, take care of him. No matter what we got, everybody shared it with me. No matter what."
You were the only child.
Between them two, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So your parents have
different
kids outside of you.
Well, my mom waited till 18 years later to have another one, and my dad was just wilding with my stepmom. Love you, mama, my other mama. But they've been together for like 30-something years. So, well, I guess it'd be 40-something years because they've been together since I was 3.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, definitely.
That's rare. The last guest I had up here, he well, not the last one, the one before that, Freaky Zeke, he spoke highly about having two parents.
No doubt. Shout
in the
out to Freaky.
household.
Yeah, well, like I said, I had a big family. So if I was over here, I was either with my grandmother and my uncles and aunts, or I'd be with my mom, or I would be, hit Teaneck and go chill with my cousins out there. And that was more grass and, greens and stuff.
Right.
So like I said, I got a lot of exposure to a lot of different places, which I'm pretty sure helped me with my career.
So, all right, so you go to, you're going to elementary school, you're going to junior high school, you go to high school and different things like that. When did the acting bug actually bite you? Like, was it when you were a kid, were you just fucking around in the house as a kid, watching stuff on TV, mimicking it? Like,
I was always doing that type of stuff, and I remember like seeing like American Werewolf in London and recreating the transformation scene and stuff like that. But really, I say I noticed that I could act. Like thought about it as acting when I was in kindergarten. I did this. You did this little kindergarten play.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, the parents walk up to the stage to get their kids. Mm-hmm. And my mom, it was just me and my mom at the time. She came up to get me, and I was small enough that she could still hold me in her arms. So I get off the stage, and she got me in her arms, and all the other parents got their kids, and then they just crowded around us. And they started asking my mom, "How old is he? How old is he?" And I'm like, she like, he's 5 or whatever.
Right.
And they like, "Man, did he take acting lessons?" And I only played Little Boy Blue. I remember it and everything still. But they was just like, wow, So that's when I was like, oh, I got a little leg up on this right here, this theater thing.
Right.
And I just, like I said, I just kept that going. I wanted to be a lawyer at first, so I like to read a lot. I read a lot, and so that's what I really wanted to do.
What kind of lawyer would you have been? A prosecutor or
corporate? I wanted to be
corporate
lawyer, but then I found out how boring that was. It's not no fun in that, man, at all. So then I was like, I don't want to be a defense lawyer or a prosecutor because that's depressing. So I was like, never mind. But when I went, shout out to Arts High School, my teacher senior year, one day she just took me down to the office and she called this agency, and then I went to see them the next day. And then they sent me on an audition the next day after that. So like Monday I talked to them, Tuesday I went to see them, Wednesday I went on my first audition.
What was that for?
I couldn't even tell you what, but I could tell you what my first commercial was, which was a double meat commercial.
Oh, word?
Yeah, and back then you had to have twins.
Right.
So I did
twins.
I did the first commercial without the twins.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I popped the gum in my mouth. So I felt like a real star. Like you grew up watching bubblegum commercials, and then the person that put the gum in their mouth is the star of the commercial. So I was like, oh snap, I'm on TV now.
Right.
But then those national TV residuals was something different. Like I'm 18 and it's like every 3 days like a $2,000 check is coming in the mail.
What?
The national commercial was no joke. And then like I'm fresh out of school, so I'm sharp as hell. Like I'm in competition mode, so I'm getting like I'm booking like commercial after commercial after commercial, and I'm seeing people that I grew up watching on TV shows, and they like, oh shit. And so once they got to know my name, and they started calling me out when I walk in auditions, they like, oh, here go this dude coming to take our job. And I started feeling like, I was like, oh snap, I'm getting that respect. You know what I'm saying? Cool. They know I'm here. I'm official.
Right.
But yeah, there was ain't no money like that commercial money.
Commercial money. Yeah. You, with the Doublemint thing, were you the first like black actor on a Doublemint commercial?
Nah,
you don't know?
I'm pretty sure.
As far as like the one that pops the gum.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they had to have somebody before that, but I probably was the first light skinned nigga. I probably was.
That's a fact. Yeah, because I didn't really see. I used to use Winter Fresh, Juicy Fruit, Doublemint, Big Red, going to school and all that. You know what I'm saying? The girls. They shit used to always be cinnamony and all that.
Yeah, the Big Red.
You know what I mean? With the Big Red, but that's what's up right there. Now, how did you like during that time, like you getting these checks, you staying out the way, like how were you able to navigate, besides having that family unit and being able to move around, how were you able to navigate staying out of the streets?
That was easy. I like to be in the house anyway.
Okay,
like
you're a homebody.
I go out to see what I go to see, and then I take my ass back home.
Right.
I go to learn what I go to learn, take my ass back home. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going out to do something debaucherous, I go out, I do it, Take my ass
Take
back
your
home.
ass back home.
So I don't usually go and just be places for no reason, you know, and I don't like to involve myself in things for no reason. And, you know, like, I mean, I consider myself, you know, I got a good crew. And, you know, we all, you know, very independent men. I only got, you know, a small group of circle of people.
Right.
And we all very, very forward thinking. But if I had to consider myself as a leader, you know what I'm saying? I gotta. It's like I said, it's easy for me to have good people around me that's about doing something and not to be like, oh yeah, well let's go get caught up in some ignorance. I ain't never had it. I never was like. I was more the one to get people out of trouble than to get us into the trouble. You know.
There's always one out the crew.
Yeah, you know, like they're like, let's involve him because if we bring him, it's more likely we'll get away with it.
So y'all ain't doing this right. Y'all ain't doing that right. We out of here.
Yeah, that was more so me. So
yeah, I wish I had somebody like that in my crew.
You know, yo, man, we got
to avoid a lot of prison time.
Yeah, you got to get it right, man.
So, all right, so you do the Doublemint commercial, you start doing more commercials, correct?
Yeah.
After which?
Yeah. A lot.
Can you name some of them? Some of the other commercials you did?
Doublemint, like an anti-smoking PSA that was pretty big. I was the voice of the Doritos for a while.
Doritos.
Yep. Kentucky Fried Chicken, FedEx. Toys R Us. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of them that I'm forgetting because, like I said, I don't know. Because I had just got out of school and, like I said, I was very sharp with the sell. You know, how you do the. I was able to do that. So I would walk in, like I said, I would just walk into a commercial audition and go nuts. Like, oh, you want me to sell this? I'm gonna sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like I sell it. Sell it. Just sell it. So that was mini discs. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember mini discs. Yeah. Sony joints, I think.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep. And that was a series of 4 commercials, like a movie that was directed by Doug Liman. That was dope. That was crazy. That and wrote a Foot Locker commercial that came on during, I think it was the 2001 NBA Finals. Something like that. Me and my brother, we wrote this. And we performed it. You know, it was just us snapping back and forth on each other like Uptown Comedy Club style.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Yeah, so all of those commercials, like I said, they came back to back. And then also a couple of, TV appearances started coming in between at the same time. So,
before we go there, did you, like, when you're working for a company that's shooting commercials, do they give you, like, free shit?
Nah.
You never got none of the product. It's just, we paying you to come here and do this, and that's it.
Yeah, nah. Have I ever taken anything
like
home
a
from
whole
a
fucking
set?
boxes of Doritos or
Nah.
Sunny Delights? I don't know.
Nah, but they don't usually have that stuff on set. The stuff on set is usually prop stuff. So
right.
But nah, you don't really get no freebies like that. I don't think. I would think maybe if I let's say if I had a direct sponsorship, like if they hired me to be a sponsor, then they'd probably be like, yeah, here's a year's worth, just so people could see me with it around somewhere, at some point.
Right.
But yeah, just regular.
So when you got you. So you said so now you start navigating as a TV series.
Yeah.
What was some of the first TV series? I don't want to get to the big one yet. What was the first?
Law and Order.
Right, I've seen you in Law and Order a few times.
Yeah, Law and Order, New York Undercover.
Shout out to Malik Yoba.
Shout out, New York Undercover. All of the little cop shows that was out back then.
They always need a little trouble black kid.
Trinity, The Beat, Third Watch. All of the cop shows that was out back then, I did, and like I said, it was just a thing where, like I said, I was very sharp at the time. I was very hungry at the time. I had just came out of 4 years of acting school. I was doing drama 2 hours a day, every day for 4 years. So when I came out, everything was like very automatic to me, So that's why when I came in, I was just like bulldozing.
So it basically was a thing where, how they say it take 10 years to master a craft? You ever heard that term? So you basically were able to master it from a very young age to another young age, as far as the span of time. So anything after 10 years is just, it's second nature to you.
Yeah, pretty much. Right? I mean, luckily, like I said, it's fortunate that I was cultivated in that type of environment. And then, like I said, I read, and my comprehension as far as reading goes is pretty quick.
Right.
So I can, kind of interpret lines real quick. I don't know where my memory came from.
Right.
Because, like, you talk to my squad, they be like, yo, I'll forget something, like, that we supposed to be doing.
Elephant, though.
Yo, I forget something that we was supposed to be doing yesterday, but I could memorize a scene and some lines, and I surprised myself. I could memorize some scenes and some lines almost instantly. So
Got you.
yeah, I just take it as a, you know, it's a gift. So yeah, man, that's just a, you tune something, you cultivate it. You know, I know singers and all they do all day is walk around singing. And you know, so when it's like time for them to just bust into something, it's like automatic.
It's
I know
automatic.
fighters, you know, and so I know people that just have a discipline. So I definitely took this as my actual discipline.
Got you. And you knew this is something you wanted to do with your life.
I just felt like, hey, I got thrown into it. I better just keep going with it.
Got you.
That was how I took it, because it wasn't like I had much control over how it was coming to me. It just kept coming, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just meet it halfway, and it just kept going.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever, it's a two-part question. Have you ever, one, got into any issues with any actors or actresses auditioning for something that you know that you're going to get because of your drive, and they kind of hated on you or they felt away or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, if somebody did, they never said it to me in
Right.
person. Nah, like, the only friction I can remember recalling having, like, with other actors, like, I remember walking into an audition once and some dude was bullying this other kid, and I started to snap on him back, you know, to just calm the situation down. But then, you know, you get a mutual respect and y'all realize y'all being children,
Right,
you
right.
know. But no, I don't. That's the thing. I think when you get to a certain class of people that's in your, you know, area, they understand like why you got it, or you understand why you didn't get it. So you know you might have wanted the part, but you gotta respect and, you know, kind of be happy for the other person, because you're like, damn, if they I know they're gonna kill it. That's the main thing. If somebody get the role that you know they're gonna murder it, you happy for them. You know.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
somebody,
respect it.
Somebody trash, you like, oh, really?
Hey, how the fuck, man?
Yeah, right. Y'all ain't gonna do me
Okay.
like that. But yeah, I don't think I've never like seen, you know, none of my brothers, you know, in the industry like cut eyes at me like,
Okay.
you ain't deserve that part, or that should have been me, or nothing like
That's
that.
good, because that's kind of rare to hear in the industry, where a lot of times us, you know, black and Latin folks is always going at each other's neck. It's
Yeah.
good to hear from you that you didn't have to endure that.
Well, I mean, I probably would have missed it anyway. I told you,
You work and you go
yo,
home.
I take my ass right back home. I don't care what they got going on. I don't care.
Got you.
I don't care.
Were there any roles, like, okay, so we had so many iconic movies that came out, right? And I know you said you did commercials and you did series, but were there roles that you auditioned for that are iconic movies right now that you didn't get? You know, you got Juice, you got Menace to Society, you got Dead Presidents.
I say, well, like ones that I really, really went out for that I wish that I would have got. And I'm sure that there's more that's not coming right to my head, but Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie.
That was a good movie.
Tropic Thunder.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. And one of the Fast and Furious is.
I was just gonna ask you that. If you auditioned for Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I did, definitely. So one of those. Oh, yeah. I mean, but like I said, like I kind of understood why I didn't get those things at the time.
What? If you don't mind me asking, what role did you audition for in Fast and Furious? Do you remember?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the one Ja Rule role.
Right.
Yeah. So
Did you hear the story about that with Ludacris and Ja Rule?
I did a long time ago. I don't remember the specifics though.
So in brief, they called Ja Rule about the role, right? So he did one, right? He did.
Oh, you mean the
one
replacement? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ja Rule was so big. Pause.
He turned
with
it down.
music, he turned it down, and then they came and scooped Luda.
Yeah.
I think you would have did way.
Oh,
way
man.
better. Shout out to Luda and everything he's
Oh, no.
done, but
Yeah.
I feel like you would have did a great job.
Well, at that time too, it was, you know, a lot of actors. We was, you know, losing parts to rappers. You know what I'm saying? At the time, whether it was
okay.
Luda, Common, Ja, you know, whoever was out
Right,
right
right.
Sticky,
A lot of big rappers.
LL. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
he was in everything.
Yeah, right. Even In Too Deep. I ain't even had room for me in Too Deep. I went out for that like twice, but it was so packed with everybody. You got Omar Epps, Hill Harper,
Right.
You know, Gano Girls. You got hood people, actors that everybody knows. It was everybody was in that movie except me.
Right. But you know what's crazy? Like, shout out to Hill Harper.
Yeah.
I think he's a dope individual. I read his books and everything. And I feel like, because I watched that movie a million times, bro. I love that movie in Too Deep. But to me, he wasn't that believable.
Nah,
That's just my opinion, bro. As a viewer, you're an actor, so you may see it differently from me because you're in that world. I'm on the outside looking in. I felt like the role should have been given to someone who actually like kind of knows what that role represents.
Somebody with more edge.
Yeah, a little bit more edge, but it is believable. But at the end of the day, when I watched him and I seen him on what's that, CSI or NCIS or something like that.
Bones, ain't it?
Bones, that's what it was. Yeah, Bones. And I'm like, I feel like somebody with a little more edge, like yourself, who's played those type of roles, could have played that role.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, well, first off, yeah, and that is one of those. Like I said, that's where one of those roles where he kind of had the tenure on that, so he got that off. But you might have been right. You might be right. It might be CSI because I think my man Eugene Bird is on Bones. He looked like me.
Yeah. Eugene.
That was my prototype, man. That was like when I first started acting. That was somebody I really wanted to meet because not only because he looked like my big brother, but I think he's one of the best actors. To me, like I grew up watching, and he just always had that. It's just a passion. I could feel it coming out of him. He's one of the people, like I said, like quiet as is kept, like low key, like he one of the people I definitely model myself after. Yeah, admire. Like I said, like and he's tough. He's like one of the dopest actors ever. He's still working, and like that's the thing too. Working is the best part. It don't got to be loud. You don't got to be the big movie star. I think most people are happy with just doing good work. And getting paid.
Right. I mean, but as an actor or actress, I feel like you guys they say art imitates life, right? And I feel like what y'all do that a lot of us can't do is you're able to resonate, right? A lot of people's trials and tribulations and struggles that people have within themselves, emotionally, psychologically, whatever, on screen, right? And what that does is, like, I watched The Wire multiple times. I've watched a few other things that you've done, and I'm like, and I'm sitting in prison, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, it could always be worse. Do you understand? Because I'm somebody that was kind of in that position that you were in when you were on The Wire. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, I'm working for somebody. They got this big role. I gotta attend to them. Make sure that I gotta make sure he get the bag for the person supplying him. And then I still gotta maintain my manliness. You know what I'm saying? Even though shit that happen, I gotta watch out for the Jack Boys. I gotta watch out for the competition. You got niggas coming from out of town trying to pull up on the block. Like, it's all kind of shit you gotta deal with. So being young and you representing that on camera resonate to so many people. I don't know if you really realize how much you infect the viewer.
Well, I could say in a way, yeah, because if you respect, like I said, it's a discipline. Acting is, if you take it seriously, you take it as a craft and a discipline, and it's a skill, obviously, And one thing I teach classes, and one of the things I do teach in my classes is that acting is not lying. Like when you lie to somebody, they inclined to believe you because they don't know that you're lying. You know what I'm saying? Acting, the people know we pretending.
Yeah.
But you gotta, whatever it is that you bringing across, you get them to play along with you.
Right.
And then they brain go to thinking they there with you. And it's real.
That's
you know
a
what
fact.
I'm saying?
That's
So
a fact.
that's what the power and the skill of a true actor is. Like that's not Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
You know it ain't, but in your mind you like
that's that
nigga. That's him. Like, so that's the power of doing it. And like I said, anybody I think that, takes it 100% seriously and respects it, that's what they're gonna bring to their characters. And that's something, like I said, I always try to bring that to the characters, where it's like, whatever the character's doing is gonna have some real feeling to it. People be like, that's really how I would have reacted right there.
Yeah. Like, I hate watching something and I'm like, yo, come on. That ain't real. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. Right now I'm watching I just finished Reasonable Doubt. The show. I love that show. That show was great. But
wait, was that the one with the lawyer? I mean, with the judge?
with a lawyer. The black lawyer from LA is based on true events.
with
Morris
the
Chestnut.
brother. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Morris Chestnut. Michael Ealy is in it. Shout out to him.
Right.
The character's 110% believable, bro. But there's certain little nuances in there that you watch and you like, come on, I wouldn't have reacted like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would have went this way. But anyway, all right. So getting back to the chronological order, you were doing commercials, then you start the series. So like you said, New York Undercover and all those other series. How did you get introduced to The Wire?
The casting director. Well, I mean, it was just basically a regular audition.
And it was in the city, or
It was in Manhattan. And Alexa Fogel, she's a casting director extraordinaire. She's still working. But I did that audition for her, and like I said, I was just very raw. Like I was a monster. So
now, were you, not to cut you off, were you were you on set for anything else when you went to audition for that? Or were you just kind of like in a bare space and not filming anything?
No, by the time I had auditioned for Oz, I believe I had...
I'm sorry, Oz came first.
Yeah.
Let's start there. I'm sorry.
Well, same lady. Alexa, she put
Right.
well, my point was she put me in Oz first.
Okay.
So she watched me grow up from Oz. She put us in that. She put me in Sopranos. She put me in Sex and the City. You know. And so when it was time for The Wire to come around,
all HBO stuff.
Yeah, she had read the script.
Right.
And she was like, this character is JD. And so she called me in to, do my audition and whatnot. And I even asked her, could I read for D'Angelo for another character? She said, no, this is you.
Right.
So I said, all right. Because I was tired of being, the evil guy. Because I had I just did 4 years of that on Oz, and I'm now you about to make me somebody worse?
Word.
I'm like, and I'm like looking at the script. I'm like, yo, they gonna kill me while I'm standing on top of a police car or something. That's how I felt like it was going. I was like, that's what's gonna happen. They gonna do me so dirty. But she was like, no, this is for you. Trust me. And we did it. I went in.
So with Oz, she gave you a call to come audition for Oz.
Yeah, my agency sent me in for Oz actually, and when I had did it, they had did a pilot already, and I think Q-Tip actually played the dude in the wheelchair.
Oh, what?
In the pilot.
It was him initially.
Yeah, in the pilot he played that.
Shout out to Q-Tip.
Right. So now I'm like, in Q-Tip, let's go. Full disclosure, I kind of named myself after him. The JD,
right,
because his name used to be John Davis.
Right.
Q-Tip was my favorite dude back in the day.
Right.
And then as soon as I changed my name to JD, he changed his name to Kamal Fareed. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep the JD. And I'm gonna tell people that it mean different things. Jersey Devil, Just Do It, Jelly Donut. It makes a good story for a magazine or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, I found out Q-Tip did it. I'm like, oh snap! If I get this part, I get to be in a TV show with Q-Tip. This is my brain and everything. And I went into the audition, and like if this is the camera that I'm auditioning for, I'm doing the part, and the person that I'm talking to is supposed to be roughing me up, and grabs me and throws me up against the wall. So I threw myself like way over there, right? And I'm up against the wall, and I'm doing like this, and I'm talking to myself, and they doing the other character lines, and I'm like, get them off me, and I'm like over here. Now they behind the camera, and the Alexa, the casting director, and her assistant. Like, I see out the corner of my eye, they kind of look at each other like...
What is he doing?
And then they go back to... They don't stop me. They just let me keep going.
Right.
So I'm like, well, whatever. So I just, But then I got the call back because they was just like, yo, he was just so into it. Right. Like...
Yeah, I mean, either go hard or go home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And so... But now it's crazy because, like, I kind of be looking at myself, man... You wouldn't do that shit now. You don't got the balls.
You ain't got to.
You don't got the balls to do that now, though. No, but that shit, when you get smart, you get shook.
Right.
When you don't know no better, you got all the heart in the world.
Well, also, wouldn't that depend on what the role is and maybe who's also acting in the movie? Like, say for instance, it's Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson.
Denzel probably wouldn't have said nothing either. He probably would have just let you keep going too.
Right.
Like,
but I'm saying, would you go that hard now?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to go in front of Denzel twice when they were doing the play.
The play, yeah.
and they actually called me. And this is how my agency. This is why I love my agency, because I can't never say that I wasn't seen for something. You could ask me the biggest movie, and I'd be like, yeah, I went in for it. Even if it wasn't for the right part, I went in for it. So they had me going in for Raisin in the Sun to play the African fiance. So I had to go in front of Denzel, do an African Nigerian accent, light as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't show no fear, and I went in, and Denzel, like the way we sitting at this table, he was sitting where you sitting. The other person was sitting here, and I'm standing right there doing this shit, and I'm losing myself in my head, like, yo, don't even show Denzel you even worried about him being there.
Right.
Like that's
in the room.
That's the coolest man in the world. You cannot show no type of nothing, no fear or nothing. You gotta. And I walked in, gave him the head nod, got myself together. You know what I'm saying? Did my whole thing with my accent and everything. And then, like I said, in my head, I know.
How was your accent? Can you give me an example of
No,
that?
we will not be doing that. No.
That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good.
Well, I mean, I like I said, like, it's a lot of stuff. Like, I don't even be knowing I do. I do impressions on BMF. They got me doing a southern St. Louis accent.
Right.
So, if I get, I love doing those things. If I get the chance to do those things, I definitely will. Like I said, I'm a theater kid too. So with theater, you have enough time to really practice stuff. So if they say, yo, you got to do a German accent, I got time to,
study.
figure it out. Yeah. Or and you could go kind of off of what already know.
Right. Being around different people, cultures, and stuff like that.
All of that.
So that first time you got in front of Denzel, you didn't get that part, obviously.
Oh, no.
Raising the Sun.
Yeah.
What was the second time?
It might have been I might have went in twice for that, actually.
Oh, for the same.
But I'm thinking, I feel like it was something else. But him, and those types of intimate auditions, we don't do those anymore because ever since COVID, we don't really go into the rooms anymore.
Right.
But like stuff like doing that in front of Ben Stiller, or Woody Harrelson, stuff like that. That's when they get to see you and they say, "Oh well, even if I don't work with you this time, I'm gonna keep you in mind."
Keep you in mind, right? You left an impression.
Yeah, like and stuff like that is like, it's cool. It's validating. Of course, you would rather have the job, but just even that is a brick, in the wall. So,
Got you. So with Oz, right? So you're on Oz. It starts. How many seasons were you on that for?
4.
4 seasons.
Well, if you count the 4th season, it was only 1 episode in the 4th season, but I was there. Yeah.
Okay. Now, was there ever during it? That's a very uncomfortable show.
It can be.
Okay, because I mean, even for me being in prison and seeing certain things as far as like Alabisi and some of the other characters, the narration was excellent. As far as what's the actor's name that was in the wheelchair? Harold Perrineau, right, from Best Man.
Yep.
He did an extraordinary job with that.
Yes, he's a great actor.
Yes, he is. And was there ever a time where you were like, all right, this shit is getting a little too much?
Nah.
Or was it like, yo, I'm here to do a job and that's it?
Nah, that was like college for me. So, and then like I said, being a theater kid, that's what that set was like. It was like more like doing a play than a TV show, because everybody was. First off, it was a play written like a play. It was a Greek. A Greek tragedy.
Right.
We had the chorus.
Shit.
Yeah, we had all of that going on. So everybody was treating it with that type of respect. So it wasn't never like, this gay thing going on over here that I'm like, or this graphic thing going on over here with somebody getting their head chopped off. It wasn't like that. It was always the actors had the utmost respect for the material. The writers used to respect us. It was really knit. The whole thing was knit real well. And I understand what you're saying too about. The funny thing is that people who actually been behind bars, they have a different feeling about the show than people who have never been locked up.
Right. People who haven't been locked up look at it and they get a glimpse of what happens inside. And then us being locked up, we like, man, I don't want to see that shit. You understand what I'm saying? But we still watched it because we love the actors in the show. You know what I'm saying? And the way that you guys presented it was like, damn, you really thought these niggas was locked up. You know what I'm saying?
I think Oz probably, and I think about this debate. I debate this in my head all the time. Which one had the better cast, Oz or The Wire? And I think Oz edges out The Wire. Not that the cast acts better. I'm just saying it was like more people on Oz than I'm like when I went in. You got Harold Perrineau, you got J.K. Simmons, you had Eric Roberts, you had John Seda, you had Terry Kinney, Ernie Hudson, Rita Moreno, Eamon Walker. I'm like, yo, just keep another one. Chris Maloney, Kurt Avocito, Dean Winters. I'm like, yo, and then of course, if I had to name the people that was on The Wire, I'm like,
it was more up and coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, yo, The Wire made those names. The people that came in the Oz was already on. Yeah, right.
But for you to go into that
man,
structure was crazy.
I was tripping every day. Every day I was in there. I don't care who I was up under. I'll go watch Rita Moreno do her thing. I'll go watch Eamon Walker get on his Muslim stuff and get ready in the camera. Adewale, who played Adebisi, would be mentoring me all day, every day, telling me what to do, what not to do. I would be up under whatever directors. We had guest directors, Kathy Bates, Steve Buscemi, Matt Dillon. We had guest directors so that shit was Oz was an experience, bro.
All right, so now the Oz popped off. You did a phenomenal job with that. Now comes The Wire, correct?
Yes.
Is that directly after Oz, or was there jobs in between that?
Oh yeah. So once I finished Oz, like that summer, or probably whatever that was when I had my little first movie kind of run in between Oz. I had did Pootie Tang.
Yes. Hilarious. So you had to audition for Chris Rock.
Oh, now that was fun.
Okay, tell me about that.
That was great. Well, I got the script right now. Remember, Chris Rock had the show on HBO, and I used to.
Oh yeah, his
Chris Rock show.
Yeah.
I used to watch it every now and then, but I had never saw the Pootie Tang skit on there, so I didn't know what Pootie Tang was when I got the script. Right. I just knew it was Chris Rock. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm reading it. I get to if you've seen the movie,
yeah, I seen it.
In the very beginning, there's this big fight and Dirty D comes out the car wash. I closed the script right there.
Right.
I ain't want to even read past that. I was like, this don't make no damn sense.
Right.
I was like, either I'm gonna get it or I'm not. But I was like, this so stupid.
Right.
People gonna watch this forever.
That's a fact.
I was like, I gotta be in this. It's so dumb. I have to be in this. So
it's like some Jim Carrey.
Yo, I was like, I have to, especially coming off of Oz. I wanted to do something fun, goofy,
something different, right?
Yeah, I'm like, so anyway, I look at whatever the part is that I had to. Actually, I didn't even read for the part that I got. I read for, what was his name? Was it JB or Truckee? I think it was Truckee. The one that kept repeating.
Yeah.
That's who I read for at first. The one that was just repeating everything everybody was saying.
Right.
And so anyway, I'm outside the audition room, ready to go inside. They call me in. Now I'm in my mind, like, it's just an audition. I'm gonna go read for the producers, whatever. I walk in, boom, Chris Rock right there. Now remember, this is like when Chris Rock was like Dave. He was on Dave Chappelle level then.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
With his night show.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Now I gotta be funny in front of Chris Rock. Just out of nowhere. And I'm like, all right, that's when that acting thing kicks in again, where you just kind of shut shit out and just be like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I do the part, I'm repeating. All I'm doing is repeating what he's saying. He finding it kind of funny. I'm like, all right, Chris Rock, I'm making Chris Rock laugh. All right, cool. And then I'm thinking I'm done. I'm about to walk out. And he's like, he gets up, comes over and like, oh, no. We got to have, I don't remember what he called me, but I know he meant the dude from Oz. We got to have him in here. We have to. So then he stand next to me and he starts improvising. And so now I'm improvising, and this is what's crazy. I'm so aware in my brain that I'm improvising with Chris Rock. Right. But I'm like, just keep going. And I'm making him laugh. And he's like, fuck that. We gonna call you. And then next thing I know, they got the character Froggy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they just made it up just to have me in it.
Probably put you in the script.
Yeah. But and then also I got the input because, I'm part of the dirty gang. But I was like, I don't want my character to be dirty. I feel like he should be the only one in the whole group that don't get dirty. Right. Just for nothing. Right. And they was like, all right, cool. Gave me this crazy ass green pimp suit. I was like, yo, can I get a green toothpick to go with it? Right. And so they just let me add a bunch of stuff. They let me say a bunch of goofy stuff. They let me do, like I said, everybody was on the loose on that anyway. But they definitely let me have a great.
Did you follow The actual script, or did you like ad lib a lot?
I mean, look, man. I think the only one that really followed the script word for word was Pootie Tang, because he wrote all those gibberish. He wrote all that gibberish out.
Really?
Yeah. Louis C.K. wrote it. The white dude.
What?
Yeah, he wrote that.
Oh shit.
Yep. And he wrote all of that. He wrote Seppertown, Wadata, My Damie, da 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 da. He wrote all of that. He wrote all of that in the script, and Lance had to say them lines the way they was written. So. I think the rest of us, we had our lines, but we was all like just having, fun with it. Like, JB Smooth gonna go crazy with it.
Yeah, man. Oh my God.
He funny just from the way he talks.
Just the way he look.
Yo.
Watch him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, I just laugh as soon as I see him on camera.
Bruh, he be just the way he say stuff is like, even in Pootie Tang, like I was like, he said Pootie was at the farm. How I forget Pootie was at the damn farm, but I've been talking about the farm the whole time, yo. And the shit is funny. Just the way he say it is funny.
Right, yep.
And yeah, but like JB Smooth, Mario Joyner.
Right.
It was a lot of comic legends in there,
Yeah, it was. So, that's a cult classic right there,
I was definitely proud to be in there. And like I said, I was just glad that, they let me just have fun.
What's crazy is how you shifted from fucking serious role to a comedic role.
But they still had me that's the thing though. It was a comedic role, but it was only funny because of how serious that I had to take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I was
it surrounds comedy.
Yeah, if I was goofy, it wouldn't have been funny. So I had to be this seriously short dude in green,
right,
sneaking his man dirt in the prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had to do that scene seriously. I'm like, how serious can we sneak there? I promise you're gonna be dirty again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm telling myself, like, you gotta say this like it's serious, bro.
Right.
Like, but like I said, it was so much fun.
That's what's up.
And
what's up with the I haven't seen him in anything. Who's the main character in Pootie Tang? The guy who played
Lance Cruther?
Yeah.
Because he's more, I think he does more writing for Chris.
Oh, okay.
I know he wrote for, he wrote a lot of scripts, a lot of stuff that we, classic black movies and stuff too.
Like what?
I don't start me lying,
okay,
but I know I
gotta
looked it up. Yeah, I know I looked it up before. But yeah, some stuff I was surprised. But he wrote a lot of Chris Rock sketches on
his
on the show.
No, Everybody Hates Chris?
No, on
the Night Show.
Yeah, the Night Show.
Oh, the Chris
he
Rock.
wrote a lot of those,
okay.
And he might have wrote some Everybody Hates Chris. I'm telling you, he got a lot of credits to a lot of writing credits. That's how he got Pootie Tang, because they we gotta let Lance get one off.
Give you something.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. He looks funny.
Yo, that's another thing too.
He
Got that unique Native American pimp look. Like it's like you like that dumbass mustache. Chief selling hoes. That's what he looked like. Chief selling hoes. But Lance is real cool too. He was a very, down to earth, just respectful. Like, that was a good dude. Like I said, when I was on that set, man, I probably was more than likely was the youngest dude on the set. But they treated me like a little brother. All of them. All of them took care of me. It was great. I had a great time on that set.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So you did Pootie Tang, and you said you did some other stuff, but what was the introduction to The Wire? I know you said the agency and stuff.
Yeah. Alexa just called. They was like, "Yeah, we doing this show." Alexa called. I did that audition, and that was just one show up. I didn't even have to go in a bunch of times.
And that was for that role that you played
for BODIE. Yep.
Yeah.
She, like I said, she had already had me in mind, and then when I got the part, what's crazy? Excuse me. I got the part, and I had only been to Baltimore one time, and I hadn't been around. I had did Homicide on the street. But I went there, it was a day or two shoot, but I was in my hotel and I just went in and did my part and got back on the train and came back home. But now I'm going down to B-More. I'm gonna play this character that's supposed to be B-More through.
Right.
And I never even walked around this bitch.
To understand the landscape.
Yeah,
right.
And I mean, I'm from Nook, so I mean it can't be too
much
far
of a
off,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
It's worse, right? It's worse. 10 times.
Yo, what it is that B-More was if this was 2002, B-More was still it was still 91. So B-More still looked bombed out, cracked out. You know what I'm saying? Like we had already got past crack. You know, we was on heroin. People was nodding off on heroin up here. Down there, they was still heavy crack. I'm like, damn. But anyway, I get down there. I'm like, I gotta walk around. I shoot tomorrow for the first day. I can see right now. I'm playing this character, and somebody walking by. You ain't from Baltimore, nigga.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in my mind as an actor, I'm like, well, that's true, but I ain't even walked around this bitch.
Right.
So they even more right. So I got to be more probably about 9 o'clock at night, something like that, 10 o'clock at night, got to my hotel. And I was like, yo, I'll be on set at tomorrow like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't got much time. Doing all black, doing a hoodie, and walked outside.
What?
Yeah, I had to. I had to do it. I had to say.
Wow.
I had to be able to say, bro, I done walked around this bitch.
Right.
Now
right.
I went a little farther than I should have.
But you didn't get approached or nothing?
Not really, not in that way. Like what happened was I walked until I saw a spot, right? And dude was standing on the spot. He was about to serve. He was about to do some serving.
Yeah.
Right? Now this is like before I even saw the show. Like they literally took the orders, had the fiends line up. Had a dude with the thing in his hand, and then the fiends would come. He say 1 or 2, boom, he give him 1 or 2, boom, he give him. So it was like where I was standing now, I'm just observing, and I'm across the street or wherever I'm at. And as I'm watching, you know, somebody did walk up and be like, "Yo, what's up? What you doing around here?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Nothing." I just was like, "Yep, time to move," because
Right.
now I'm getting noticed, and everybody know I ain't from here,
Right.
and I'm standing
They
over
think
here.
you might be competition
Anything,
or whatever.
hoodied out.
Police, whatever.
Yeah, I'm hoodied out and shit. I'm like, I'm looking low. So anyway, but yeah, I saw he was like, yeah. I saw enough. I was like,
Right.
I seen it. I got approached.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah, I got
Right.
something to say. I don't walk, and now I gotta walk my little whatever it is, 2 miles, 3 miles back to my hotel.
Damn.
So you know,
That says a lot about you as an actor.
I had to do it though.
Yeah.
I had to. I ain't had no choice, man.
Because the way you played that role, bro, was like when you did that scene when y'all was in the trap and Omar ran up in there, and the way you reacted, I was like, this is phenomenal. And then when you got handed the I forgot what season it was. I think it was season 2 or maybe 3. But you got the white boy gave you a fake $10 bill, or gave Michael B. Jordan a fake $10 bill, I believe.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was the first season.
Yeah.
Right. So, and the way you reacted to that when y'all caught up to the white boy, I'm like, yo, my nigga, this nigga really trapped. He really did this shit.
Yeah, and you know what about that scene? That was the very first day of shooting. The first day of
What?
shooting, yeah, and like almost like pretty much the first scene, because you shoot out of order, you know what I'm saying? But I remember that being like my very first scene, and in my head I'm like, they didn't really have any stunt coordinator there, anything. Like they was like, just, you know, go with it, make it look. So in my brain, and like I said, not a lot of people was actors then.
Right.
That was there. You know, so I'm like, oh, so I'm gonna lead this scene. You know, I'm gonna be the one making all the noise. I'm gonna be the one, you know.
Because you was like second in command.
Yeah, letting everybody know, all right, you know, make it look like this. We're gonna kick, we're gonna punch, we're gonna get excited, you know. So when it was like, you know, the point when my character says, you know, we need to take him over to da-da-da and throw him off onto the freeway or some shit like that, I say. And then the D'Angelo character, Larry, he walks off, don't say anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know, with that, the way that was, it was choreographed, but the way that it was, like, I kind of had to choreograph, because it was like, bottle, and then somebody going yell, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then we going to start getting them, all right? So that's when I was like, yo, this is how we going to do it. And I'm pretty sure we only shot I'm pretty sure that was on one take.
Yeah,
You know.
that was phenomenal. And you know what's funny? I was watching that scene, and the way he walked away when y'all started jumping him, the other guy. I'm like, him not saying anything speaks volumes. Like you're in the mind of that character. Like, should I have done this? Should I let them continue to do that? I got my bread, or I got my retribution. Let them young boys handle it. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope on y'all part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's also, you know, his character arc was that he wasn't built like that in the first place.
Right.
So he didn't want to have that blood on his hands. He was just giving me and Mike and Poot and Wallace the speech about, like, it don't gotta be so much violence. You know, y'all could sell people drugs with respect type shit.
Right.
We like, nigga,
Fuck you talking.
what is you doing? What?
That's a fact.
Respect them, but they fiends though. That's my that's that was Pooh's line. But they fiends though.
Oh my God, that was man. That shit is so classic and epic, bro. So, were there ever any times within the filming, no matter what season of The Wire, that y'all actually encountered issues with the natives?
Oh yeah. But you know, they had a contingency to get that under control. But you definitely had to let the people in that neighborhood, you had to get them right first. So like the courtyard we was in, you can't tell people not to come out their house and not to be looking out their window, So they had to figure out a way to get that done. Pay a couple of people to stay inside the house. They had repaved the
courtyard.
Yeah, they repaved the courtyard. Put a basketball court in there, which got torn right down. But they tried. But it's certain things. Or when we standing out on a corner, it'd be dudes. I remember one time, dude was across the street. He was watching. He was like, "Yo, where my chain?" And I'm like, and he like, we in the middle of saying it, and I'm like, yo, bro. He like, nah, we fuck with you. This might have been the second season or something like that. So he had kind of knew who we was already, but he was just like, nah, cause and they was like literally across the street trapping for real.
Right.
So it was like they had to pay them to move because they was losing money
while we was filming when they blocked. Yeah.
And dude was like, yo, he came over to me too. He didn't care we were shooting a movie. He just came over to me and, yo, you can wear my chain? You can wear my chain? I'm like, nah, because it's this thing called continuity. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, what the fuck continuity mean, nigga? Wear my chain.
Yeah, nah, yeah. He was like, yeah, I was like, nah, because I ain't have it before, so I can't wear it now. But
and your character, you was down and out. Like, you ain't really have it like that.
But his shit was icy too.
Right.
Yeah, he was icy.
You wanted to wear that shit.
All chipped out. Yeah, it was chip diamonds. He was good money.
Right,
But yeah, he was like, yo, he across the street yelling, yo, where my chain? Yo, you wildin'.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did any of the other actors in that you've witnessed like endure any like harsh treatment from the natives or stuff like that while y'all were filming?
A couple of us got arrested.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't think any of us got in any fights. Oh no. Well, we did get in a fight, but that was in DC. Me, Idris, Dom Lamadozi, who plays Herc.
Right.
And Hassan, who plays Weebay.
Right.
The four of us got in a fight in a club in DC, but not in Baltimore. We ain't getting no fight.
Right. Oh, y'all was shooting the scene for The Wire in DC.
No. It was real life.
Oh, this is real life.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We was.
Oh shit! I gotta differentiate.
We had all went to DC and we was in the club, and the end of the night, some football niggas tried to jump on us.
Football niggas, wow.
Yeah,
but we ain't gonna do it in the depth because
nah, it was alright though. But we made it out. We did good. We was good. Yeah, we was good.
Y'all let them hands go to work.
Oh, they look. Idris and Hassan was going nuts.
Right.
Yeah. So I ain't need me that much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You just standing there like, yeah, nigga. Yeah.
I was in there. But then security, and they had this big Samoan dude. They always grab the smallest dude first. The biggest dude always grabbed the smallest dude first. So he literally grabbed me, collar, back of the pants, put me up over his head, slammed me on the bar, right?
What the fuck?
And then he leaned on me like this.
What?
Just to hold me there while he watches the fight. And I'm like, yo.
Get the fuck up,
yo, could you just at least let me turn around? This is disrespectful.
Word.
Like, you just leaning on me, you just gonna hold me like that.
Yeah.
Yo, he like, and so now I can hear the fight going on. I'm turning around a little bit. They kind of got it under control now. And so I'm like, all right, yo, they're not fighting anymore. Could you get off me? Can I at least sit in the stool right here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, you scared of me? Like, you 3 times bigger than me. He's like, no, but y'all little motherfuckers is already.
He probably got beat up by a little nigga before you heard.
That's what he sound like. He sound like some little nigga snuck him or something. I was like, look, I promise you, I ain't gonna trip. Trip.
Right.
He was like, yo, if you move. I was like, yo, I promise you. So he eased up off me. I sat in the chair, right? But he was checking me.
Watching.
Yo.
That's crazy.
But in Baltimore, several of us got arrested.
What the fuck y'all got arrested for?
Different things. Two of the homies got arrested for talking back to the cops, Actually, I guess.
But didn't the HBO have permits to film that?
Nah, we wasn't filming. This is why we was just out in the city.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, and so those are the run-ins we had. I ain't had no run-ins with none of the homies. I only had run-ins with the police because these did me dirty one day. So
what happened?
Oh,
if you don't mind talking.
No, I was just coming out of the block, coming out of the club kind of late, and they was doing a street sweep, and I was standing in a doorway, and I asked the dude, I said, "Yo, do the cops do this every night?" He's like, "Yeah, every night, 2:00." I was like, "Oh," and I'm talking to the dude. I'm inside. I'm not even loud. I'm dressed all nice. I got a chocolate suede suit on. I'm looking dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm
looking like a Baltimore nigga.
Yeah, I'm chilling. and I'm like talking to the dude. I'm just talking to him in regular voice. I'm like, "Oh, so they do this every night?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh well, we inside, so fuck them." Pulled me right out. I didn't even know. Like I said, I wasn't yelling. I wasn't being belligerent. I was just surprised. But anyway, the cop grabbed me, threw me downstairs, threw me down in the gutter. Literally, he had to. Messed up my suede, man. Gave me the big old mud water mark across. I had a mud water sash. Because
crazy.
Because he put me dead in the gutter.
Right.
She put me in the gutter. Then the dude came and got me.
What was it, a woman cop
that grabbed me at first, yeah. And then the man cop came right behind her, and they just anyway they threw me in a paddy wagon, right? Mm-hmm. So I get in a paddy wagon with this dude, homie sitting in the back of the paddy wagon tied up, and he just looking down, right, quiet. And I'm like thinking in my head, like I'm saying, what? I'm like, how's this happening? What just happened? I ain't even do nothing. I'm like, oh, wait till I get. So I'm kind of spazzing out.
Right.
Homeboy sitting over there just quiet. I'm with that dude all night until like I was gonna say they let us out at about 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning.
They didn't let you contact anyone or nothing?
Nothing, bro.
That's wicked.
And homeboy, the quiet dude, he didn't start talking till like about 6 o'clock in the morning. I was fucking with him though, but he ain't start talking till about 6 o'clock in the morning. He ain't had nothing to say to nobody. He ain't want to know nobody. He ain't want to know nothing. And like I said, it took me about 3 hours to calm down because I'm like you said, I'm like, yo, where's this? What? Nobody read me no rights. What are you doing? You just holding me? I'm spazzing. Like I'm spazzing out, especially when they put me into a holding tank by myself. Now I can really yell as much as I want.
Right.
I'm like knocking on the door. I can see my property when it's time to get out. I'm like, yo, there go my property right there. Y'all said y'all was letting me out at 6 o'clock. Yo, I'm going off, bro. Right. Like it's crazy. But
when the dude started talking, what was he saying?
Oh, by the time we was talking in the morning, we was talking about getting out. That's when we was like in the last tank before you get out.
Right. So he must have been used to that shit.
Yeah, but he was like, yo, like you was wilding all night long. I don't know how you did that shit. I'm like, because I ain't used to being locked up. Like this the longest. Like I done been in cuffs before, but yeah, y'all held me for what, 6 hours or some shit like that, 7 hours. But anyway, it was hilarious, man.
That's wicked, bro. Wow. So art was like really imitating life. I mean, you wasn't selling drugs and you got arrested for that, but just the fact that you was but you were forced to experience what they go through, the natives.
That's what's funny too, because I forget how many times I've actually had run-ins with the cops, where the cops have really beat my ass, because I done did it for fake so many times. I forget that, like, yeah, nigga, you done been roughed up by the police for real. And I'll be like, I'm only acting in my head, but I'm like, nigga, you have been brutalized by the police. That was real.
Crazy, bro.
That was real. Yeah.
So when shit like that happens, like, a lot of people sue.
Nah, man.
The city, like, what did HBO say something or like? What the fuck?
Nah, sometimes when, like, a lot of times when you're wrong, you just wrong, and not.
But you wasn't wrong.
Not to say I wasn't. Not to say I was, but maybe my ass just shouldn't have been out that late. Maybe
that's true.
Took my ass home. So
I got you.
I just accept the responsibility for it. It's an experience. Like I said, It's always something that I can look back on. I could use. And like I said, like, man, I'm supremely blessed. I was walking home that morning because they had took all my money. I didn't have anything, right? So I had to walk. I'm walking home, and this cab pulls over. It's the same cab driver that dropped me off.
Oh, so he was like, yo, I got you.
And he like, yo, come on, take you home. He's like, what happened to your clothes? Why you all dirty now? I'm like,
fucking with you Baltimore motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. And what's crazy, even crazy, is like me and him had the same first name.
So, that's God.
Yep.
That's God right there, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wicked, bro. Like, this is the shit that people don't be knowing. Like, when you are acting and you're on a set, especially in a setting that whatever you're imitating on camera is actually happening in real life.
Right.
And then you experience it, it actually makes you a better actor on camera.
It do. I mean, if you can separate the emotion and just distill it into what it is, not get lost in what really happened to you. You gotta reenact it so that people can understand what it is that you're showing them, what you're going through.
Right.
You can't do it and just do it off of how it felt, because it was sloppy in real life when it happened. It was messy in real life when it happened. It was like you're not gonna catch everything. When you act, you want to make everything clear. You know, when somebody grab my arm, you're gonna see every time they heard it, it's gonna be But you know, in real life, when somebody grab you, there's only one face. You know, you just oh fuck my fuck. It don't get progressively worse. You know what I'm saying? It's just scrunched up.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, but you do take those. I was over here on Springfield Avenue once.
It's crazy over here. Somebody just got stabbed over there in front of the shop right on Springfield. But go ahead.
No, but that's how it happens, man. I was over there. I came out of a store. And a fiend. This is how you know when you hood, right? Came out of the store. Now the fiend just walked past me like a normal person, but he said 5-0 coming. Just like that. Like I ain't know him. For nothing.
5-0 coming.
Yo, just like that. It was just like, yo, just like that, bro. And so now, you know, you like, damn, I love the hood. Like, you know, it's like, if you paying attention. So now, so now I'm on point. I'm like, bet. So I'm walking up. Here come the cops. Jump out. Boom. Like it felt like they came out of a bush. Like I ain't even see the car or nothing. And they grabbed me because I just came out of the store. So they come. Grab I got my hand in my pocket. Grab my wrist. Wrong wrist. Boom! I throw it in my mouth, right? So now I throw that shit in my mouth, right? And I'm holding it. And now they both, it's two of them. They both grab me, throw me down on the street. You know, now they starting to talk, you know, spit it out. So this is where the real brutality come in. Like, they start rubbing my eyes like this. What? I mean, literally rub my contact lenses out my eyes. He had a glove on, put his finger down here and started pushing down on your teeth, on your gums and pushing up here. I wasn't doing I wasn't opening shit. I ain't care what was going on. I went numb.
Right.
So now they done beat me up, you know, picked me up, threw me in the car, right? Now when they picked me up, the police station is literally right around the corner. So they take me around the corner. I'm sitting in the back. I can't see. My mouth is bleeding, you know. But I got a mouthful of shit, right? and like the cop is in the front seat. He like, yo, it's not even all that serious. You don't even got to do all that. You don't know what they spray that shit with. You shouldn't eat that. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, officer. I don't even know what you're talking about. And I don't know if you know how hard it is to chew weed, but
oh yes, I do.
Yeah, that shit gets right.
There's plenty of nights I was smoking weed, the cops roll up and you gotta swallow it and all of that. Yeah,
that is like the hardest thing, like 'cause it absorbs all of the saliva and everything. So anyway, I'm chewing that shit, but I'm telling them I don't know what y'all talking about. So they get out the car, right? I'm thinking they about to take me into the precinct, right? Another cop come out, detective, and they call him over. They ask him because where I was at was a heavy 5 area, for a lot of bloods.
Right.
So they point, two cops point, they like pointing. I know they ask him, do I look like somebody he looking for? And he look in the car, and then he look at them, and he go,
that's this nigga from the wire.
And then he called him over, and I see him going, and then he come over, he open the door, he like, man, I ain't even gonna ask you what you was doing around here. I already know. You alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I still got a mouthful of shit. And I'm like,
crazy.
Mouth dry as hell, right? And he like, you good? I'm like, yeah, alright. So then he just go and walk inside, right? It's a brother, of course, too. And the two cops, you know, they come over, take the cuffs off, you know, ask me if I want some water.
The fuck out of here, man.
They
Fuck
give me some
both
water,
of y'all,
right?
man.
But no, then he give me the ill backhanded compliment. He say, man, you pretty tough. I'm like, I'll show you how tough I am, nigga.
Take that fucking uniform off,
beat
man.
my ass, yeah.
That's a fact, man. That's crazy,
Because he was like, I was really trying to get you. I'm like, yeah, I know. So now I got to figure out my way to get home blind, no smoke.
Right.
You know, like pissed, mouth smelling crazy.
Right.
Got bits of every. Oh goodness. So yeah,
Wow,
to your
you really
point,
been through it, bro.
and that's only once. Like I said, I be forgetting these things because I don't, I feel like God got me, and I don't really take a lot of shit seriously like that, especially if nobody got hurt. But what I have done, like with my DMX shit, like when I was driving when I wasn't supposed to.
When you did next shit? What
Yeah.
you mean? Acting like a cop?
No, because X ain't never had no license, and he was always driving.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
Keep getting pulled over. So, but like like something like that. If I'm in a driving violation or something, I would tell the cop, be like, look, do what you got to do, but this is my job, and just so you know that I'm not a criminal, you can still, go ahead and do whatever you got to do, but know that I ain't gonna try to run, I ain't gonna try to shoot you, I ain't gonna try to hurt you. I got too much shit on my plate to be trying to, fuck with you. So
Right.
go ahead and give me my ticket or whatever you're gonna do, but just don't think I'm gonna shoot you. And so usually that's the spiel I'll give, if anything. I don't usually say like, oh, I'm on TV, don't lock me up because TMZ gonna come get me or some shit like that. I don't do that. But
I ain't gonna lie. If I was an actor, I'm telling the cop, listen, nigga, I'm on some of your favorite shows.
that make people madder though.
Really?
Yeah, and especially, you know what kills me? Oh, this I get a lot. Cops see me, they be like, because they think they arrested me. Yo, because that first police think they arrested me somewhere before.
Yeah.
They be like, yeah, I know you. I'm like, you don't know me. Yeah, yes, I did. I picked you up to here. And I'm
That's
like,
fucked up.
I'm like, nah, man, you watch Oz or The Wire.
Right.
And they're like, oh, because I was about to arrest your ass right now. I'm like, damn.
Wicked, man. That is wicked, man. Oh my god,
Yep.
bro.
So-
It's almost like you go through it worse than regular niggas.
Sometimes, but like I said, that's how you gotta move around.
Yeah, in and out, in and out.
Get there, move around.
Wow.
And also, when people ask me, like, I'm not the one to get all cute and be like, like, sometimes people would say, yo, if people just ask me straight up, are you the dude from this, that, and the third? I say yes. If people say something like to the point of, what have you been in? I won't answer, because then I say I was in it and they be like, no, you wasn't.
Yeah.
No, you wasn't.
They own jacket. Yeah.
That wasn't you. And now I'm like defending myself over something goofy. I'm like, now I feel like an asshole. So I don't even, like I said, I don't bring it up. Sometimes people will hit me with, you know who you look like?
Yo, bro, let me tell you something. I'm not an actor. Actor, nothing. I just been on YouTube, right? So, you know what I get a lot, bro? It's fucking crazy. Motherfuckers be like, I look like LL.
LL? Oh, well, that's a start.
It's a light skinned nigga shit, man.
No, it's the caps. Well, all of us gonna get called LL. When I first started Oz, I was little LL.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So we all gonna get called either LL.
Just because you light skinned.
Well, the caps, the baseball
Right,
caps.
being bald headed.
My lips.
All that.
I had, like I said, when I was little, I was on some, little biscuit head, sexy nigga shit. So
Right. All right, yo, so moving forward, right? I'm
Right.
sorry, like you are really hilarious, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Word. All right, so the odds and everything happens, season closeout and everything. Now you're moving forward. So I've seen you in Freeway's video, What We Do Is Wrong.
Yeah.
I seen you in Lumi D's Uh-Oh remix with Busta.
Yes, sir.
I've seen you in Fabulous Breed video.
Yeah.
Please, how did you transition? Not transition because you still acted and did series and movies, but how did you start getting into music videos?
Man, most of that was in that pocket you were saying between Eyes on the Wire.
Oh, okay.
All those videos and the little couple of movies I did was in between those two things. So I always say that's my video whole phase.
Video.
I was getting called for all the videos, bro.
Right.
And the ones that I wanted to do, like I was like, word, I'll do this like Mariah Carey.
Yeah, Mariah Carey.
That was a big deal for me. Get to do that, and then I'm like, these motherfuckers is wearing me like jewelry. You know what I'm saying?
You a video vixen.
Yeah. I said I wish I would have got a damn award.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I would be proud as hell.
Right,
you know?
right.
Some days you be feeling like, hey, you ain't sexy and shit. I'd be like, nigga, you was the man for a minute. Shit.
Right. High school, you was a man.
You know, yeah, homie. But the Tupac video with Elton John.
Yes.
You know,
Ghetto Gospel.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
So, and that's a big deal because that's also involves Eminem.
Right.
You know, who produced that. So, listen, you know, I was just out. I had just finished Oz, and the director is Zinga Stewart. Shout out, she's a very prolific black female director. Check her out. You know, shout out
Shout out to her.
Yeah, and she directed the What We Do Is Wrong video, the Lumity video, and there's another video she did. Anyway, she called me for those three. I think it might have been a Dipset video. I did a couple of those.
Oh,
too.
Cam.
Yeah.
Cam shit. Yeah. I forgot what this fucking song was called.
Lord Knows with Jaheim.
Lord Knows with Jaheim.
And I did it. I was in the Dipset Anthem video, but I don't know. They called me out, but they didn't use me. I don't know. I think I looked too nerdy that day or something.
Word?
Something. They ain't put me in the video, but they paid me.
Wow. Oh.
Well, because I think Jim just liked to have me around back then. Like, he'd be like, yo, where that BODIE on the set? Come on over.
Shout out to Jim, man. Go check out the interview I did with him, too.
No doubt, no doubt.
That's what's up,
yeah,
man.
him and Mama Jones. Mama Jones, she definitely, pampered me that day. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Her and his sisters, they were so sweet, man.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to the whole dip, man. Shout out to y'all.
For sure.
So, did you ever meet Jay-Z?
Yeah, on the set of the What We Do. Yeah, that was, man, that video is like, I couldn't even talk too much about that video. Enough about that video, I mean, because the part when Jay Beans and Freeway do
they seen like they on a roof or something like that.
We on a dock and they just like around that barrel. They did that 3 times. We got to sit 10 feet away from Jay Beans and Freeway do that song 3 times, and we all was gassed up the whole time. So I don't never need to go see a Jay-Z concert ever in my life.
Nigga, I was 10 feet from that.
Yo,
nigga.
and I acted with him in that video, but they cut that scene out because it would have kind of implied that he was slipping, and we can't, you can't have Jay slipping.
No.
Yeah, so but I and that's funny too because like before we started shooting the little scene, because Zinga wanted us to improv it, and it was just me and him standing far out on a pier. And so we supposed to be acting like we saying something to each other. Now in my brain, Jay is like my top 3, easy,
absolutely, right?
But in my mind, I'm like, damn, it's kind of quiet. Like, should I say something? But I'm like, nah, that's gonna be corny.
You crazy, bro?
I'm like, that's gonna be corny. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
And I'm trying my best not to imitate this nigga, right? So. I'm like, and so I don't remember what I started talking about, but then, I'm pretty sure I told him, I love your music, you know what I'm saying? I follow you, blah, blah, blah. And then Zinga said, just look like y'all talking about something. And Jay was pointing over this way. So it was just like this little quick improv thing. But yeah, like, that to this day, I'm like, yo, it took all of my strength not to
imitate him.
Yo, it took so much not to do it, bro.
So did you like, y'all didn't exchange numbers or nothing? It was just, yo.
Nah, I wasn't gonna ask Jay-Z for his phone number, man.
Yo, Jay, let me get your man, bro. Acting everything you want me to. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Nah, he was good. He was good though.
That's what's up, man. And the Fabulous Breathe video. That's a fucking very big record. Just Blaze, Fab. The song is like a street anthem. You know what I'm saying? How did you get?
That was one of them things too. They called me. I don't know who gave the phone number. Shit, and Zinga might have did that one too. I'm not sure. But the thing is, like I said, around that time, I kept getting called for all the songs that I was really playing. Like Breathe was my joint. I already knew it, and I'm like, word. They called me for Breathe.
Right.
The Uh-Oh video. It wasn't that particular thing, but when I saw the Sean Paul version, shake that thing, I was like, that's a house party video. I want to be in that video.
Right.
And then the Wayne Wonder one, I'm like, I can't be in that one, but
Right.
but then the Lumity one came, same beat, same music,
right.
And I didn't even know what that was until I stepped out the makeup room and was like, oh shit, that's the song.
It's the same beat.
Yeah. So I was like, I was feeling like I was getting all of the videos that I wanted to do. The Mario How Could You video. That was crazy. I played I'm the little boyfriend that got cheated. Well, she cheated on both of us, but still, that was crazy to me too. I'm like, I was listening to that particular song. I'm
You
like
was manifesting. That's what you was doing.
yo, all day, man. So, and I'ma still do it, but yeah, man, that video period was just fun, man.
Yo, I gotta applaud you, bro, because it's like these are some of our favorite songs, but a lot of times us as listeners and viewers don't really connect to a record till we see the visuals. And you being a part of the visuals is like, oh, I know this guy. And that's probably a lot of times, not only because of your acting chops and who you are and what you have done, but it's like, let's get him here because he's familiar.
Right.
It's a marketing strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Take it. Well, I told you that's one thing I know. I sell somebody some shit.
Yeah,
I sell
listen,
it.
You sold millions of people, bro.
No, I'll sell it. So you give me the give me the product, I'll sell it. And like I said, I was very, happy. I was grateful. I had a great time doing all those projects,
That's
like,
what's up.
and getting to work with all those people. Like even like I said, it's like sometimes stuff be happening so fast that I be like, damn, right? Like in the ghetto gospel thing, Tasha Smith played my mom. I'm like,
I love Tasha
yeah,
Smith,
right?
man.
Jersey all day.
Word.
Shout
out to Tasha Smith.
Yes,
man.
yes. So it's like,
I love that that raunchiness she got.
oh yeah, she'll tell your ass
Yeah.
real quick. She's a director. She's a real director. But yeah, man, it's like so much stuff. Like I said, I think part of it is a large part of it is momentum. I try to just keep it going. And when I hit that project or that kind of a plateau that I feel, comfortable at, I'm pretty sure I'll relax a little bit and be able to smell the flowers some. Right now I ain't really got time for all that.
You still in work mode.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, JD, you think you big Meech, bro? Larry Hoover.
Right?
You're on BMF.
Yes, sir.
You was on there last season.
Jay Pusher. Yep.
Jay Pusher. How did that come about, bro?
Honestly, like this is one of those jobs that I'm fortunate enough to get called for, pretty much.
Did you audition or you didn't have to?
Kind of. Not really. I mean, it was a writer that was writing for another show. And, he said that he wrote the character with me in mind. And, I just followed up the way I was supposed to.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay.
if it was me in mind and I'm going in, I'm going to get it. So.
Right.
But yeah, I had a great time. It's a lot different than what people are used to seeing me as because I'm wearing gold fronts, I'm wearing preppy clothes. I got a St. Louis accent. Like people was like really like wondering if it's me, which is crazy as hell. But okay,
Right.
if I pull the Clark Kent on y'all, I'll take it. They're like, damn, nigga, don't put no glasses on me.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. So you so how was that process of like for BMF? You're already like a veteran. Right now you're a fucking veteran in this shit.
Right.
So going into BMF, you've watched the show, obviously, right? And how did you prepare for that character?
Well, what's crazy is I hung out with the St. Lunatics. Those are the dudes
Get the fuck out of here.
Those are the dudes I know from St. Louis.
Talking about Nelly,
Yeah.
ex-partners.
Yeah. So I kind of modeled
Wait, time out. I'm sorry. What made you hit them up?
No, well, we did this movie a while ago called Snipes. That was Nelly's.
I remember that.
That was Nelly's first movie, and I think it took us like almost a year because it was a record company making that movie, so they was just wasting money.
Okay.
But it was cool. We didn't care. They's paying us. We come and chill. We shooting in Philly. So I want to say that movie took us like, I don't know, 8 months or something like that. A long ass time. So in that meantime, that was when Nelly had just dropped Country Grammar.
Okay.
And, I'm playing his right-hand man in the movie. So we really just started kicking it,
Okay.
He was around.
I got you.
And then also the Ticks was there. So, and then they bought a studio in Newark called Hit City.
Really?
Yeah, so they were there making their music out of there. So when I wasn't home, I go kick it over there with them. But my point is that I modeled a lot of the St. Louis attitude that I had for this character after them. I learned from
Got you.
how they behave, how they talked, and shout out to Courtney B also.
Yes.
The manager.
Shout out to Courtney.
So yeah, but that's where I pretty much that was where my initial prep in my mind came from, and then the gold fronts helped bring it out some more. The my accent, the gold fronts, the clothes help. Like a lot of times, like it like the costume, the uniform will actually put you into the mindset. And my man be wearing his $200-$300 polo shirts.
Right.
Loafers and shit.
that's
You know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I be feeling them, you know what I'm saying? And the little polo hats with the little buckle and everything, you know, looking like I'm going golfing or something, you know? But I like them, you know what I'm saying? I'm having a good time playing them, and I think people are enjoying him. And this year, everybody's going to get a lot more of him.
Shout out to you for that. Shout out to 50. Shout out to BMF. Now, you know I got to ask you this. Okay, so...
Let me have one more while you do that.
Yeah, do that. You know, I'm going to take my seat.
Go ahead. Don't worry about
it. Crazy. So, just for those that have been living under a rock, just do some premise on this, right? So, Big Meech is the head of BMF, along with his brother Southwest T. Big Meech goes to prison, Southwest T goes to prison for drug trafficking and a plethora of other charges. 50 Cent decides, you know what, I think this would be a good series, right? He already connected with stars. He got the Power Universe, Raising Kanan, this, that, and the third. Extraordinary. Big Meech comes home. Big Meech comes home. He meets with 50. They take a picture together. You know, it looks like it's all love. It's all good. Then Big Meech decides to go and do a concert with Rick Ross, who everyone knows Rick Ross is an arch enemy of 50 Cent and vice versa. So they're about to do this concert, February 13th, I believe it is, whatever date that is. I heard a bunch of artists are pulling out of it. I don't know if that's true or not. But you're in the BMF series that's about to come out very soon, the new season. How do you feel about the fact that 50 Cent is looking at Meech and calling him a rat? Rick Ross, and the Meech is siding with Rick Ross, right? And how does that affect you in any way? Go ahead.
Okay, so all right. I got a couple of different angles. That I got. You know, as an actor, first because my business is the acting part, right?
Right.
So as an actor, this is kind of good for me.
That's a lot of publicity.
Right? Because Fifth done put his foot on the gas now. He put some pressure on it, like, this shit better be good. And so now people gonna watch it to see if it's good. And I got a big part in that, you know. So I think as far as that, I want that. You know, I want that pressure. I want that attention. Fifth know what he doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a marketing genius.
Yo, my man is an animal.
Yes.
So but yeah, so I'm with it. I'm with it from that standpoint as an actor. Yeah, put all the eyes on me. I'm going for an Emmy this year. I want to get an Emmy this year. I want to get nominated for maybe
you're gonna get that Emmy.
Yeah, thank you. NAACP award, something. You know. So something like that, you know. But yeah. So from that standpoint, I think it's good. Now, from just street nigga shit. Now, let's from 50 side. We already, everybody. If you know how Fifth is, you already know he's not tolerating no type of disloyalty. The man is a walking zombie. You think he got time to be worried about who is around him? Like, Fifth is like a nigga that's like every day is more gravy for this nigga. He like, I wasn't even supposed to be here.
That's true.
So that's your fault. So I'm gonna make everybody suffer. Every day I'm in your ass. That's Fifth. That's it.
That's a fact.
Every day is gravy. So now, if you got him feeling some kind of way, he don't want to hear it. He don't got time for that. He's not trying to. Yo, he's not trying to do it because you ain't finish him off. That's it. And I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we look at it from Meech's side, and if the show is kind of accurate, Meech kind of always trying to be peacemaker, or, you know, now I don't want to say play both sides, but he feel like it's always an open angle for, if not everybody to get paid, at least we don't gotta kind of be in each other's way. Like, that's how BMF became so, you know, successful in the first place, you know, because they made sure that they handled the business mostly first and kept everything else out the way, you know.
That's true.
So if Meech still got that, Big Meech, the real one, if he still has that mentality, to him, Fifth and Ross's beef ain't really that deep to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, y'all don't like each other.
I've been through way serious shit.
Yeah, y'all don't like each other over some music shit. Put Wolf don't like me because I killed his best friend. That's a beef. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Wolf.
That's a beef.
Rest in peace, Wolf. That's crazy.
You know?
You're right.
So it's like I would think that Meech is like, you know, like, man, he looking, and then remember too, like, yeah, he's Big Meech, but you know, he's older.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Did all that time.
Yeah, he not really. I don't think he as pressed for opposition. Not that he was in the first place.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's as pressed for opposition now as he ever been. You know, he's like, yo, if y'all don't get along, y'all don't have to get along. But
y'all ain't gonna stop me from
yeah, I gotta do. Yeah, I'm home. I ain't been outside now. I mean, Fifth, you my nigga, but you saying I can't go over there? Niggas been telling me where to be for the last 20-something years. I want to go over there. So, but like I said, I understand where Fifth coming from. He ain't gonna never have nobody around him that's not clearly and obviously on his side. And like I said, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? And then also from Big Meech's side, Meech gonna, you know, he gonna see how much he could do as much as he. I mean, he got a TV series made about his life, so obviously he's an ambitious motherfucker.
Right.
You know, so you can't really stop somebody like that. You know.
I definitely agree with you on a bunch of points. What I'm gonna say is this is how I feel, because I haven't talked about this online at all. Right? How I feel is like this: being a former convict, right, and somebody who used to be in street life. First of all, 50 Cent, before anybody else, right? You had a bunch of documentaries coming out about BMF, whether it was on Cocaine City, Smack DVD, whatever, right? Back in 06, 07, 08, whatever. Now, 50 decides, you know what? I need to expand the Power universe, right? We did Power, it went great. Doing Raising Kanan, it's going great. What's next? 50's always thinking about the next thing.
For sure.
Let me contact Big Meech. Let me get this shit rolling, right? Not only did he put BMF on the map on a national level, he took your son.
Yo, that's the illest.
Bro, he took your son and put him through acting school and made him a great actor. When nobody was looking at Lil Meech, right? Who knows what Lil Meech was doing before he got on BMF, right? So now, your son is a household name. Your brand is a household name. You can merch, you can license, you can do whatever with this BMF shit now from a legal standpoint. While you're in prison, you come home. Now, this is the other way of looking at it, right? You come home, you meet with me, we chop it up, whatever the case may be. We don't know what kind of conversation Meech and 50 had, right? But I also know 50 is a marketing genius, right? So I also look at it like, what if this is all a setup?
It could be.
What if 50 and Meech had to come, because you see the picture of 50 and Meech first,
right,
before this whole concert shit and all that you see with Ross and Meech. What if Meech said, yo, listen, bro, I know you and this nigga don't get along, because if we're going according to what we see on the show, right, like you said, I know you and this nigga don't get along and all that, but there's a lot of paper to be made. I don't like no man having his thumb on me or telling me what I can and can't do. How can we get money, all of us collectively, but at the same time not making it look like you and him are cool?
Right.
And 50 being the art of war nigga he is, saying, you know what? Go ahead, go over there. Do whatever you're gonna do your concert, take a picture with him, do the drop and all that, but on my side, I'm gonna go crazy. But it's gonna bring more eyes to whatever y'all niggas is doing. And it's gonna bring more eyes to the show, which means it's gonna bring more of a bag to me, more of a bag to stars, more of a bag to all the actors and actresses on the show, and more of a bag to you.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's working out that way. That's why I say that's from
from
an actor standpoint. I got to be like, yo, like this is like advertising.
This is about to be booked for the next 5 years,
you
bro.
know, this is promo. Like it's like, yo, because everybody gonna watch to see what happened, because they like, if you know, if it don't matter if Fifth want to cancel it, it don't care. It don't matter if it's good or not.
It came out already. Y'all already signed a contract.
Yeah, he gonna cancel it if he want to. Period.
Right.
Fifth is that. He's the petty king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if he want to cancel it, he gonna cancel it. If he don't, he don't. You know, but
got you.
But like you said, for him to say that, what he's saying out loud, he know that it's a benefit to it.
Right.
And he ain't sleeping on that.
No, he's not. And then now on the other side, because people in the comments are gonna say a lot, but with the Tammy Collins woman, right, who's a federal informant, it's been solidified that she's a federal informant. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if 50 knew that the whole time.
Of course he did, man.
Of course, right? Okay, so 50 knew that the whole time. Then the strategy, this shit is chess, not checkers. Then the strategy is, okay, Meech is coming home. This is him over here. This is Tammy Collins over here. I'm going to keep over here quiet for a second. Let me see what's going to happen over here when he comes on and how he's going to act. Because you got to remember, a lot of people that are on 50's team or was on 50's team are formerly incarcerated individuals.
Yeah.
So he has that experience with niggas that come home, they say they yo, I'm reformed, I done did this, I done did that, I'm ready to work, big homie. And when they come into the folded G unit under 50, they go in the opposite direction and start doing fuck shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's prepared for that type of drama.
Look, we done seen this man ain't never made the same mistake twice.
No, absolutely not.
We seen that. So if anybody got, proof of concept, it's him.
Yeah.
You know, so,
and it's widely publicized.
Yeah, and I give it to him. And as a matter of fact, and it's crazy too because, and this is another thing I forget, Fifth's autobiography, the first one, From Pieces to Weight.
Yeah.
I'm the voice on the audiobook.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And sometimes I'll be wondering, I'll be like, damn, why do I be on 50 side so much? Oh, because you the voice of the book, nigga. You know Fifth very well, dummy.
That's crazy. I didn't know that, man.
I be forgetting that stuff. It's like 6, 8, 9, 10 discs long or something like that. It's a whole bunch of CDs in that motherfucker. But yeah, but that was a good experience too, But yeah, Fifth is the guy. I do believe he got a plan. Whatever it involves.
We're just speculating right now.
Yeah,
right?
and as far as, like I said, as far as Meech doing it, I wouldn't expect, Big Meech to be confined or restricted to anything.
Yeah.
The man just came home. Other than parole officer, I don't see nobody telling him
what to do.
Yeah, what to do, really, And like I'm pretty sure like he's respectful and grateful that, Fifth did all of that he did, for the name of the family, for his son and everything. And cause I don't see something like that, even just off of one picture, off of him saying he gave him with Ross, I don't see like that being all thrown out the window like that. Like Meech know what's up.
Yeah.
Fifth.
But if Fifth say something, he stand on that shit.
He do.
He say, yo, this is the last season of BMF. It's quiet. It's quiet. But then again, like I said, we just speculating. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking on some as a fan, as someone who has read Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and actually practiced some of that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
The 48 Laws of Power and all that, the 50th law. I'm just looking at it like, if I was in his position, how can I maintain a crazy bag and still make sure that everyone else is straight without making me look like a weakling?
Right. Yeah.
Because if 50 can't confide, but get cool with Ross. After all the shit that they've been through. He got cool with Kiss and all these other people. He's never getting cool with y'all.
Ain't no reconciliation.
Yeah, exactly, because there was violence involved. So it's like, what else could I do to put on the forefront to the people that's watching, the people that are fans, that I don't fuck with this nigga, but I'm still back here making a bag.
I think if he do anything, because I'm pretty sure he got new shows that he's getting ready to introduce.
Because he got the what's it called? Streetsville was part of that, Louisiana.
Yeah.
He got his whole G in the studio.
That him, Anthony Mackie opening up one. Cat Williams, I heard, is opening
Captain America opening one.
Yeah,
nice.
I heard Cat Williams opening up a studio, and we just got Lionsgate over here. So
that's a fact. Yeah.
So all of that is going on around here. Yeah. But Fifth, I would think, and that's another thing, like you said, Art of War. You ain't going to sacrifice something if you don't have something to replace it with, or if you don't got a plan for the sacrifice. So that's what he if he getting rid of something, believe me, he got something else to
under his sleeve.
Yeah, to replace it with. And man, look, like I said, I don't know. Leave that nigga alone, man.
Yeah, man, I don't know why niggas fuck with 50, man.
Leave him alone,
Leave that man alone. I met him on several occasions. I'll tell you a quick story, right? We're going to start wrapping up. I was at the Keisha Cole concert at Barclays Center, right? And my man, shout out to Jamel from this company called Fan Meyer. He has a suite up in the Barclays Center. So I'm in there, I'm chilling, having a good time. So he's like, yo, come upstairs. My man Jamel, come to the suite, da-da-da. I come up to the suite. Go up in there, chilling, having a good time. Then I'm like, yo, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll break out. And when I'm walking, there's a big crowd in front of one of the suites, like maybe two, 3 suites down. And I'm like, what the fuck is all the ruckus? So I see a security nigga at the door that I know. And I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? Salute, da-da-da. Then I see 50 standing right behind him and mad people trying to get into the suite. I swear to God, bro, I met 50 one other time before that. This nigga don't forget shit. The nigga sees me and grabs my arm and pulls me in the suite. Like, yo, come in. What's up, nigga? You good? Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, shit. This nigga remember me.
He done that to me a couple times. Yeah, he do that. Like you said, he don't forget nothing. But I told niggas think I be playing when I'm saying like Fifth is on his second, third life. That's why he's so focused. Yeah, he remember everything. He don't forget nothing. That's why he don't forgive. Right, he said, I ain't got time for that shit. That's but yeah, he gonna definitely show you love if he fuck with you.
Yeah. Nah, I give it to him for that. So now, with you, what's next? What's coming next for JD Williams?
Well, like I said, we got this upcoming season of BMF.
Make sure y'all tune in on Stars, man.
For sure. That's gonna be fire. I'm back home in Jersey for the next season or two. I'm working on a bunch of my own projects, some indies. I got a couple of shows that I'm gonna be producing and everything. So nice. I'm just, slowly but surely transitioning. Like you said, maybe I ought to go ahead and jump back on stage, start doing some more stand up or something.
Yeah, yo, uniquely coordinated. Get him on the stage, man. He needs to do some comedy for real. And how can everybody follow you?
Oh yeah, if y'all need to get at me, y'all can find me at JD Williams Virtually on Instagram. That's mostly what I use.
Instagram?
Yeah, okay. So y'all can find me there. Or you could go ahead and reach out to Uniquely Coordinated for any business ventures or anything you want to. It's unique at Instagram, right?
Yeah,
uniquely dot coordinated. Mm-hmm. And on Instagram for any business inquiries or anything like that. And yeah, like I said, I'm just rolling along slowly, man. Doing my little artistic thing, trying. So
I got you. First and foremost, I want to say I appreciate you coming to grace the Spin the Yard platform. I want to tell everybody out there, whether you're young, old, or whatever the case may be, please do not give up on your dreams and the things that you really want to do. Everything that you need and want is in your environment. You just have to put the work in. If you're going to pray on something, make sure your feet work after you say that prayer and make those steps towards your goal. There's nothing that you cannot do. Do your thing. Stay focused. Peace and love. Salute.